Look, you might have to go extreme to dial in your TRT protocol, especially for PFS people and PSSD people, but also for people that don't have serious sexual dysfunction that's long-standing, but can't get their libido and erection straight on TRT. You might have to go extreme. Your protocol might require 7 different compounds, and they might be DHT derivatives. You might need to run a higher dose of tadalafil. You might need to run some zinc daily. You might need to do protocols as far as test dosing that are far and beyond and above TRT that are stigmatized out there on the web. The point I want to make here is if you can't dial in, especially if you've got some degree of erection or libido issues, be prepared to get extreme, unorthodox, abnormal, maybe a little obscene. Because in the end, this is your protocol and this is your life and this is your sexual function. And sometimes it takes a variety of different compounds in unusual doses with unusual protocols to strike the right chords. All right, boys, before we get into the video, look, Cortex Labs is your performance optimization and hormone consulting company for men. We got a range of different products ranging from the Torque Stack, which is Adderall without the side effects. Basically, it's a nootropic stack that I built. 35% off. Code is down in the description of this video. Our most popular product right now is Source List. Again, if you need to circumvent your clinic, if you need to get your hands on DHT, Proviron, anything you can think of, just get Source List. I compiled a list of all the trusted sources. Lastly, I'm a coach on TRT protocol restructuring. If you need to hire me for that, we've got a consult specifically for that. If you need longer term ongoing help, we've got 3-month, 6-month, and 1-year packages. You can book me for any of that stuff in under a minute at livecortex.com. All right, so I'm going to run you through some protocols that have worked for people. They are unorthodox protocols. These are the types of protocols that, like, your clinic isn't going to prescribe. No one's going to prescribe, that I've seen as a coach over the years, that I've got to figure out that people need to take. People might need to take 100 milligrams of Masteron every week with their TRT, with some ancillaries, with a high dose of tadalafil. I've had some PFS people, some PSSD people, some hardcore sexual dysfunction people that require doses in excess of 400 a week of testosterone, or crazy protocols like 100 milligrams of prop every other day in order to dial in. And the point that I want to make in this video is, if you require an extreme protocol, don't be afraid to step outside of the bounds of what is considered TRT. You might need to be on HRT, experimental HRT plus. And you have to be okay with that. That's the point that I want to make. Don't think that the typical sort of establishment dosing on testosterone is going to fix you if you've got serious sexual dysfunction or you can't dial in. Well, something's obviously wrong. If you've been androgen deprived for a while, if you've been deprived of DHT for a while, then you have all manner of intrapenile blood flow dynamics that are skewed negatively, and you've got to work on that, and it might require more androgens. So I just wanted to make that point. That said, let's cut right to some protocols, unorthodox protocols that I've had to construct for people where normal TRT stuff just wouldn't work. Here we go. Those protocols are the following. Here's the first one. First one is basically 300 milligrams a week of test enanthate. It's really 300 milligrams over the course of an 8-day period. It's 150 split every 4th day. Okay, 150 intramuscular enanthate every 4th day. In addition to that, 100 milligrams of Masteron injected at once, 1 time weekly. Okay, just a bolus, 100 milligrams of Masteron, 250 IU of HCG every 4th day on injection of testosterone enanthate, 10 milligrams DHEA, 10 milligrams pregnenolone, 10 milligrams tadalafil daily. All right, don't be afraid to move the dose up so long as it doesn't lower your blood pressure too much. You don't get significant side effects. And in this particular case, 5 grams of citrulline daily. Now, this was a PFS person, a person that had long-standing sexual dysfunction from the use of finasteride, and TRT wouldn't touch it. His levels were at 1200 and it didn't fucking matter. Now, we had to get him on this protocol in order for everything to work. This is a protocol that this person is on and should stay on, has been on for 8-9 months now. We're done consulting, right? He's emailed me, everything's still fucking great. And it's an unusual protocol. I mean, look at it. That's not a protocol that your clinic would prescribe to you, but sometimes these protocols are necessary. As long as your health is in order, your lipids, your blood pressure, your hematocrit, this is the protocol that's getting this guy better. Second protocol, this is an odd one. I'm sure you've never seen a protocol like this. I've only seen a few that are like this, and it goes like this. It's 70 milligrams of prop, so intramuscular testosterone propionate injected every day. in addition to 150 milligrams of testosterone enanthate injected once a week. Okay, so this person just needed this baseline of enanthate in the background going up and then troughing with 70 milligrams of prop daily, running 12.5 milligrams of aromacin, okay, every 10th day. Every 10th day. Just happened to be the sweet spot for that person after a lot of experimentation. No HCG, no HCG. Okay, so not everybody requires HCG in these cases. Sometimes HCG just makes things a lot harder, especially dialing in relative to estradiol, and 5 milligrams of tadalafil daily. Now, this was a TRT person who couldn't dial in on anything regarding TRT for years. He lacked sensation, libido, erections were hit or miss. The whole system just kind of sucked, and he was on regular dose of testosterone cypionate with some HCG, some DHEA, pregnenolone, and just could never dial in. Again, if you look at this protocol, it's a bit of an unorthodox protocol. It's just not a cookie cutter or a clinically prescribed protocol. These are the kinds of protocols that I've got to construct when people are up shit's creek. Next protocol, again, another weird one, is 4 pumps of testosterone cream daily. This is transscrotal cream with 60 milligrams of testosterone enanthate every other day injected intramuscularly, 50 milligrams of zinc and a gram of calcium B-glucarate per day, 40 milligrams DHEA, 30 milligrams pregnenolone per day, and 200 IU of HCG one time weekly, just enough to maintenance the testicles. Too much was sending the estrogen over range. This was a case where the person needed a lot of testosterone, but also interestingly needed a lot of DHEA. That's not a typical DHEA dose. You're looking at 10 to 20 milligrams. For whatever reason, likely some of the backdoor 17 beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase and other even 5-alpha reductase conversion mechanisms for DHEA specifically into dihydrotestosterone, they benefited from that much DHEA. And without the DHEA in the protocol wasn't as good. Now, this person, whatever we did not respond to aromatase inhibitors, whether it was aromacin at low doses or arimidex at high doses or low doses. There'd always be some sort of low estrogen, low tissue estrogen, joint pain or otherwise problem, a cognitive issue, a heart racing issue. We just couldn't use aromatase inhibitors, and some people they can't. Okay, so we got a pretty high dose of zinc, which acts a little bit as an AI, and that calcium D-glucarate shuttling some of that estradiol out of the system. And this person was dialed in after this, right? Years on TRT, couldn't figure it out. We get an unorthodox protocol in the picture and suddenly everything works. Now, the last one that I want to show you is a very simple one, because sometimes it doesn't require that you have T and different variations or different administration methods, plus some Primo or Masteron and tadalafil or whatever. Like sometimes it's just really simple. This is the last protocol. This guy was on 100 milligrams of prop every other day. Okay, so that's basically like 50 a prop a day. That's 350 milligrams total testosterone per week. Nothing else. No DHEA, no pregnenolone, no HCG. All that just messed everything up, right? It made it impossible to dial in, but with 10 milligrams of tadalafil per day. Now he's dialed in. This guy, I think, was on testosterone enanthate, couldn't dial in for fucking years. It had the initial period that, that honeymoon period where things were really great in the first month, and then it just fell off. And he was chasing the dragon forever, could never get dialed in. Came to me, and in a few short months, we had him dialed in on 100 of prop every other day, nothing else, and 10 milligrams of tadalafil every day. What are the reason I want to show you these protocols? I had to dig these up from client work, like successful outcomes in coaching, is because none of these protocols are normal TRT protocols, right? I mean, if you look at them, they are abnormal, unorthodox, kind of out there in fucking left field type of TRT protocols. And sometimes, especially PFS people, PSSD people, long-standing hypogonadism, people that have serious sexual dysfunction for a long time, they can't figure it out, and people on TRT that can't get dialed in with like usual clinically prescribed doses or protocols. Sometimes you have to do weird shit like this. And I want people to keep that in mind, right? Because you may think that you've tried everything. Like the worst case I see is when someone has serious sexual dysfunction. They're like, I already got my levels up to 1300 and estrogen was controlled, so it must not be testosterone. And then they go back to the forums and like they think it's a neurotransmitter or something or some others, like the gut. Dude, none of that shit is causing your sexual dysfunction, boys. These are all endocrine issues, and it's about finding the right doses of the right esters with the right ancillaries, and possibly a little higher doses of Cialis every day. Just know if the traditional stuff hasn't worked for you, traditional protocols that seem normal and aren't stigmatized, you might need to shift over to some of these stigmatized, really oddball protocols. Because look, you're trying to get relief. You're trying to get relief from symptoms with all the compounds we have available to us. That's why the source list is so fucking important, boys. Source list. I mean, this way you can circumvent the process from the clinic and do what you might need to do in order to dial in. Traditional TRT or HRT plus protocols just may not do it for you. And you're going to need to go extreme, unorthodox, maybe a little fucking obnoxious, start bringing in foreign compounds that you've never taken before, like DHT derivatives, etc. And that may need to be mainstay in your protocol in order for you to dial in. Think outside the box, my friends. Okay, that's where I've had the best success with sexual dysfunction. That's where I've had the best success in dialing in people's protocols. And I hope that I've offloaded that information onto you and that it can help you moving forward. All right, boys, again, if you need to hire me for consulting, it's one of the main things I do. I've got a TRT protocol specific redesign or restructuring of your protocol. That's a very popular consult. So call with me and then we'll develop a protocol and put it on an online document. You get that at livecortex.com. If you need to work with me for 3 months or 6 months, that's where the serious sexual dysfunction and protocol adjustments come into play, where we need a lot of time. If you've got the budget, please hire me, livecortex.com. Let's get it done. Let's start and hit the ground running, man. Like Geronimo. Workstack is 35% off. It's Adderall without the side effects. Very strong, very noticeable nootropic that I built. You can get it down in the description of this video. And then lastly, yeah, again, source list. Again, sometimes you need to circumvent the clinic, boys. Okay, you need to find your own way to get what you need. You need to bring in some DHT. You maybe need to bring Proviron in. Maybe you need to source a bunch of prop in. You know, you need to get some UGL tadalafil. You need to get some Masteron. This is why I built source list, because it's a trusted source of all the stuff that we usually take and stuff that your clinic is not going to be able to prescribe you. All right, you can get source list at livecortex.com or down in the description of this video. Been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Look, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays for those of you, for all of you. I won't be doing content for the next couple of days, and then we'll be back doing a live stream this coming Saturday. So look forward to that. Enjoy the holidays, you know, take care of yourselves, have fun, you know, watch the calories, just do everything right. You're going to feel better in the end. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Kick ass, rock on. I'll talk to you boys on the next one.